Sometimes I feel bad for family of musicians because we're impossible to buy for. So if you find yourself with just a whole lot of Christmas cash, I've got some ideas for 5 ways you can spend that cash. All right, number 1, check it out. Let's open it up. This Practice, a monthly lyric workbook by Half Shy. Now, Half Shy is one of my VIP members, and she developed this lyric book. So if you're a songwriter, or if you maybe think you want to get into songwriting, but you're not sure how to start, this is a great place to start. For a lot of people, lyrics are the big hang-up for them. So this is a 30-day workbook to help you just practice and hone and sharpen your songwriting skills. So I actually plan to use this in January we're doing a songwriting challenge for all the VIP members, and I'm going to give this thing a test drive while I do it. So there's lots of exercises, things to try. There's a section in here where you take apart an existing song and analyze it. It's got like stuff like this, like all the different chord progressions and kind of a cheat sheet for your number chart, minor chords, major chords, harmonic rhythm, like lots of cool stuff. So this, by the way, is only $18. Made in America. It's got this cool little like cardboard cover, spiral bound. Very cool. Recommend checking that out. All right, next. By the way, eat cookies and be, I think it says kind. So what in the world could this be? This is for my guitar players out there. And this is, ta-da, a capo. What? Well, it's not just any capo. If you've never used one, this is called a cut capo. So a normal capo, this part right here. So a capo, you put on a guitar, it's got a spring usually, sometimes it doesn't. And this top part here mashes on the strings and holds them down, right? So typically this thing is about this long or so. So it's designed to cover the all 6 strings of a guitar. This is a cut capo. So this little section only pushes down 3 strings. So it pushes down, it lets the low E string play, and then it pushes down the A, the D, and the G strings. So it ends up sounding, if in standard tuning with this on the 2nd fret, sounds a lot like dadgad tuning, but you don't have to retune your guitar. You can just play normal chords, but you get a couple of open strings that make for really interesting voicing. So if you're not too into maybe trying out crazy new tunings, because that can be a pain, just to keep it in tune and to change from song to song, this is a cool idea. I use one of these all the time for playing songs in E. I will capo this on the 2nd fret, and then I can play it kind of like dadgad. And you can buy this for a whopping $22. Not a bad deal. By the way, everything but the workbook here is available at Sweetwater. I'll have links in the description for all of these, so you can check those out. The Sweetwater links are affiliate links. So you spend $22, they'll cut me a little tiny piece of that, but you don't pay any more. But it helps out over here at Home Studio Corner. All right, so those are 2. Number 3, the boxes are getting progressively bigger, by the way. This is number 3. I tried to pick out things that would help with multiple phases of the process. So this helps with your songwriting. Granted, this is a little more specific to just guitar players, really just acoustic guitar players, but this helps with the songwriting, performing. This one, can you guess what it's going to help with? That's right. It's going to help with recording. And what is it? Well, you knew there would probably be Personas in here, but this is legitimately a heartfelt suggestion from me. The Personas PM2 microphones. So this is a pair of microphones. I'll start off here. Check that out. These sell for like $129 on Sweetwater. These are surprisingly good. When I first tried them, the snob in me thought, there's no way that these are going to sound any good. But they did. And what's cool, first of all, they're very light, which is kind of cool so it doesn't weigh down the mic stand. You get a matched pair. These are small diaphragm condenser mics, meaning you'll need phantom power for these. But they also come with snacks as well as a stereo mic bar. This to me is like the coolest part, aside from the fact that they sound good. So you can put this on a single mic stand, and then the microphones the clip. Okay, so these come with clips that these slide into. I just misplaced them. I think they're on mic stands somewhere in my studio. Just forget about that. Assume they're here. But those clips can attach to these things here, and we can slide it out to change the width of our microphone setup, tighten this down, and then attach this to a single mic stand. So you can have a stereo miking. So if you've never played around with stereo miking, specifically on things like acoustic guitar, I like to do XY for acoustic, and for overhead microphones, I love XY. These are great, a great way to get into that. You can use large diaphragm condensers for the same thing, but these are going to sound a little bit different, but they're also a lot easier to position in a position like this because they're just so small. And you can get it exactly where you want it. You can do like a spaced pair or ORTF or XY being my favorite. But this is a great addition to your studio, and it won't break the bank because it's only a whopping $130. So this is kind of a no-brainer. I mean, this is just barely more than you'd pay for a single handheld microphone. That's so cool. All right, final piece of the puzzle is going to have to do with not recording things, but listening to things. This is fun. Can you tell what it is? Come on. Ta-da! So this is one of my favorite things that I own. Now, I don't technically use it in the studio, but I use it all the time. So this is I can hardly fit it on screen. This is a Presonus Eris 3.5 BT speaker. So you can get a pair of these for just $150. And it's a 3.5-inch woofer here. It's got the tweeter here. Power, all this volume on the front. But what's cool about these is, you see that button right there? They're Bluetooth enabled. So my wife and I use this all the time. We have these set up in our living room, and I will, actually, let me show you. I will regularly, when I'm ready to listen to some music, I will hold down that, hit Bluetooth, and I choose Presonus speakers. And I'm playing music, and Pam's playing music all the time. So while we're eating dinner, we listen to these. So these come in a pair, so you're paying $150 for the pair. This one is the main module. This is the left speaker. It's got all the power built in. And then you have audio inputs, of course. You can use these in the studio. They don't have a ton of low end. So if you mix on these, you want to be careful that you don't have too much low end in your mixes. But then you run these, just a couple of wires from this is like a power amp, to the other speaker, which looks like this, except it doesn't have any controls or electricity. It's just a passive speaker for the right. Very cool. And this would be, if you already have studio monitors, this could be a great second pair to hear what your mixes sound like on smaller speakers. But this actually has a surprising amount of low end and has a cool sound to it. So it's just a fun, for $150, a set of speakers you can use in your studio, in your living room, out on your deck, I suppose. Very, very cool, and I like these a lot. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. I've got one more, and this one's a little more self-serving, but this is my 5th item that I think you should consider spending that Christmas cash on. So we went through Songwriting Book, Cut Capo, microphones, speaker, and finally, a binder. What in the world? What is this? This? What is that? This is a new project you may have heard about, you may not have heard about, that I launched earlier this year, and it's the Home Studio Corner newsletter. So this is a physical, like we're touching it with our hands, print newsletter that I launched back in September, and it is super fun. We talk a lot about recording. I talked about like my band project that was coming up. Here we talked about, here's a special like glossary of terms. Here was all the people who completed the October challenge where we released an EP. Just lots of fun stuff here. And I mail this out every month to my VIP Gold members. So Gold members get this monthly print newsletter. In addition to, here's a behind the scenes bonus that I added, which has all like the number charts and stuff from my recent EP with my band. It's very cool. But this goes out every month to members, in addition to a whole bunch of other goodies, digital goodies. So you get this as a print goodie in the mail, but then you get access to a bunch of courses and members area where we do challenges. We're always doing a challenge. We're currently just finishing up a production challenge where I gave them a song and they produced that song. So they got a guitar vocal, they produced the whole thing. Super fun. And then starting in January, we'll be kicking off a songwriting challenge, which, by the way, this would be terribly useful for, maybe even this. But those are all in the digital system, so you can work on those and log into the forum and interact with people and watch the videos and all of that, but you also get this in addition, which is very cool. So if you want to try this out, I highly recommend it. Head over to homestudiocorner.com/gold and you can sign up, and on the first of the month you will get one of these headed your way in the mail, in addition to a bunch of digital goodies you can have access to right away. All right, that is it. I hope this was helpful and fun for you. Thanks for watching. See you next year.